2.5 years ago, I did a client case study interview with my mentor back then, Trey. My partner and I had scaled our first coaching business from 40 grand a month to 200 grand a month in the span of just 8 months. So in that client interview, I tell Trey how awesome it is to have a team culture of 14 people. But I don't mention how stressful it is to have so many people on payroll at the age of just 24. I brag about how strong our money back offer is and why we are so confident in it, but I just forget to add how I can't sleep some nights because I'm afraid that I'll have to refund clients. I also talk about how scalable and how productized our business is, but leaves out the fact that we are turning away tons of opportunities and how we are forcing everyone into the same offer on long pay plans. I show Trey how well our organic reels are doing, but not the fact that I feel like a hostage whenever I have to record them because I have to act like someone I'm not. Then fast forward to today, and my business is the exact opposite. So in this video, I want to show you exactly how I flipped my entire business on its head through changing those 4 core statements that I just mentioned to you and to Trey on that client case study call in February 2024. Because a coaching and consulting business isn't supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be simple, to be fun and enjoyable. And I can promise you that is possible because last month my business did $58,000 in cash with 90% profit, 1 team member, and I loved it. So let me show you how. A team of 14 looks really good from the outside and really good on LinkedIn because it signals a thriving company that is growing. But to be honest, it wasn't really a sign of a healthy business. In my case, it was quite the opposite because we threw people at our problems. If we got more leads that we could handle, we would just hire a new seller. If we had a full calendar, add a closer. Too many clients, new client success manager. So instead of fixing the root cause, we just hired and played the volume game. Because the equation was simple back then. More volume means more leads. More leads means more calls. More calls means more sales, and more sales means more money. And that was the entire operating logic of that business. But here's what I forgot to say to Trey on that call. The 14 people that I had on payroll was on a company that was built on my face. You know, my ads, my values, my content, my personality, my story. That was kind of the foundation of a coaching business. So what I've learned since then, it's a lot of those hires could actually have been avoided by fixing the root cause of the problem. An example that I can give you is the sales team. Because the only reason to why it was relevant to have a big sales team was because of an unclear offer, broad value content, and trying to appeal to everyone. It was way too complex. So now, my crystal clear positioning with the digital coffee shop and the menu card does the job of 6 people. And as I said, last month, we did 58K in cash collected, and I didn't take a single sales call. It was just me and a daily email to my email of 1,200 people, and a bunch of good content. And this no hire approach works in many areas of my business. So the way that I go about fixing bottlenecks now is that I ask myself, how do I fix this without needing to hire? Like, how do I make my offer so clear and so resonating that people don't need to speak to me, or anyone else in that sense, to understand how I can help them? How do I make my content so personal and specific and valuable that people feel like they already know me? Because when you can't really hire your way out of a problem, you have to think your way out of it. And that thinking is what the entire digital coffee shop is built upon. So the takeaway here from the first point is that a coaching and consulting business built on your face isn't supposed to follow the traditional business playbook because it's not a sellable asset and customers are clients. They're not units in a spreadsheet, right? Instead, it's a cash flowing asset that is built on the most important thing in this world, which is your personal values, your face, and your brand. In that first coaching business, we help beginners start and scale their own marketing agency. And at the time, I was living in Dubai. And I learned from mentors who was very big on paid ads, video sales letters, and money back guarantees. So I listened to them blindly because I trusted them, right? I wanted to follow in their footsteps because at the time they had done what I was trying to do. So I never really questioned the having a guarantee because as my mentors framed it as, it's that if you don't have a money back guarantee, you don't believe enough in your offer. And I believed in my offer, right? Like I knew I could help people. So of course I had a money back guarantee. So on that tray call, I bragged about it, right? Like it was a sign of confidence. Like, look how good I am at what I do. I'll literally give your money back if it doesn't work. But I literally had nights where I couldn't sleep because I was terrified of the fact that the refund would actually have to take place. Because the refund would have to take place after paying 14 people a 50 grand a month ad spend and all the other day-to-day cost of running a bigger operation. And the side effect of this was that a guarantee attracts the worst type of clients. They don't care about the vehicle. They don't care about building their dream business or working hard or getting to work, right? They care about doing the bare minimum to make sure that they're eligible for a refund. So when I shut that business down, I promised myself that I would never have a money back guarantee again. And on top of that, I've also shifted my entire marketing from always talking about outcomes to always talking about the model. What I do is that I anchor everything in the 500 grand a year in profit because that's what I'm actually doing myself. So it's easier for me to reverse engineer prices and the overall roadmap and action steps when I have a tangible number in mind that I can see. But more than the number, I talk about how it's made, right? Selling without sales calls, high profit, story-driven marketing, lean operations, integrity, menu card, show don't tell. Like all of these things, I talk a lot more about the vehicle rather than the destination. And something very interesting happened because of that. It's that I started working with clients where some of them make more money and revenue than I do. People by most metrics who've already succeeded, but they resonated so deeply with the model and the philosophy that they became clients either way, right? Maybe they were tired of sales calls, they believed their profit margin was too low, or they thought or believed that they sounded like a stranger in their own content creation process. So sure, the money matters to them, right? It is at the end of the day a business mentorship where the goal is to increase and make more money, but the vehicle matters a lot more. So I removed the guarantee in the first place to protect myself, right? I was scared. I was kind of like scarred by the guarantee experience that I completely stopped talking about finances and outcomes. And then the side note was that I built something even better, right? I built a business where clients and people are there for me, for the digital coffee shop, for the stories I tell, for the long game also, right? And not just because of a money back guarantee. Because what I've realized is that it's very easy to understand a money back guarantee, but it takes a lot of time, energy, and effort to understand the digital coffee shop universe. So the prospects and the clients that I work with that have taken the time to do so are incredible to work with. In that first business, we had one offer, one price point for one group of people. And that was what everyone was preaching at the time, right? One offer, one audience, one funnel, because it makes a business scalable. The logic makes very good sense on paper because in the sales process, for example, the setter knows exactly what to say to book the call. The closer knows exactly what to say, what to sell, and at what price. The client success manager knows exactly what to deliver and delivers it over and over again. It's a factory. And I promise you, we ran it like a factory. But here's the thing about like coaching and consulting, in my opinion, that nobody wants to say out loud. It's that we are working with people, right? Not units or products in a spreadsheet. And after working with more than 450 clients, I've realized that they have different aspirations, goals, struggles, strengths, bottlenecks, time, risk tolerance, right? And when you force one solution onto all of them, you're not serving your clients. You're just squeezing them into a box because it's convenient for you. So not only did we force people into a box, we also turned a lot of people away because they didn't fit the box. And that's what I hated the most, I think, because my goal is to help people, right? So when I built the digital coffee shop, I asked myself a question. How do I never have to turn someone away again? And how do I never have to convince someone that my thing is the right thing for them? So the answer that I came up with was the thing right there behind me. It's a menu card, right? And it ties into the digital coffee shop with the fact that you've never seen a barista objection handle you at the counter, right? You walk in for a cup of coffee, you look at the menu, you pick what you want, you pay for it, and there's no convincing, no sales process or anything. There's just a clear menu and a decision that belongs to the customer, right? But also, a little bit for the barista, because the barista decides what's on the menu, just like I decide what I serve and how many spots. So that's the entire philosophy that I built my offer and my business around. It's that the core transformation stays the same across everything. 500 grand a year in profit. That's the anchor, and that's what everything points towards. That is how everything is engineered. But I just have many different ways of getting people there, depending on where they are and what they need and where they want to go and what they want to get right. I have tools, trainings, and AI agents for people that just want frameworks and guides. They can just run with it themselves, just pick it up, use it, low barrier. Then I have Fred's Inner Circle for people who want more group access, more proximity, access to great people, to me, and others doing the same thing. Then I have one-on-one consulting for people who want to work directly, very hands-on with me. I sell tickets to online workshops that covers usually just one specific piece of the 500 grand a year roadmap. And I even have a done-for-you marketing agency where we have percentages and ownership in a handful of incredible businesses. And as I said, I built this very selfishly at first, right? Because I didn't want to squeeze people. I didn't want to turn anyone away. I didn't want to run another sales process on convincing and objection handling. But what I really ended up with is a business that serves a much bigger audience, makes more money, and also lets me flex in between what I would like to serve and help people with, right? So at the end of the day, more people get help. I don't force anyone, and the business grew. I think that is what you call a win-win, right? In that first business, we were spending $50,000 a month on paid ads. And when you are spending 50 grand a month on paid ads, you need a constant supply of ad creatives, right? New angles, new scripts, new videos. And the reason is pretty simple. Ad frequency kills performance, and you can't let your audience get tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. So I was making ad creatives constantly, around 60 to 90 creatives every month. Not really because I wanted to, but because if I didn't, the ads would suffer, performance would drop, right? We would then book fewer calls, sales team would stress out, we wouldn't sign enough clients, client success managers wouldn't have enough to do, and the whole machine would basically just slow down. Everything because of the ads, right? So every video and ad creative I made came from that place, and that's not a fun place to be in, especially not when there's a big gap also from me running a 200 grand a month business and making ads on how to sign your first paying client, how to do cold calls, how to deliver short form content, and how to get started from zero. I had to switch in between those two realities every single day. The person that I actually was, and with the skill set and the team and the responsibilities, and then the person that I needed to be in front of the camera here, right? And that gap kills you, to be fair, over a long enough period of time. Because you're two people, two personalities, and you can only act for so long before the cracks starts to show. So when I shut that business down and had to rebrand myself and my content, is that I wanted my content to be an extension of me. I tell stories that happened to me, my clients, my business. I talk about the moments I learned something, or where I saw the world shift a little bit, or I reflect on something that I learned, or something that I liked, or something that didn't work. So I just demonstrate what I'm doing in my own business and for my clients. And that is literally my only content strategy. I don't have a crazy systemized content calendar that everyone talks about. I don't really believe in that. I believe in sharing what feels natural to you and then picking the right content formats that fit the creative idea. Because I also get smarter over time. I fail at things, I learn things, I get older, life happens. So the most important aspect for me is that I want my content to develop together with me, right? I never want to feel trapped again. The content should always be a direct reflection of Fred. And then I also now have my creative director, Tobias, who also happens to be one of my close friends. He's literally my only team member. And he helps me and makes sure that my writings leaves the notebook and they end up to all of you on YouTube. So our creative process is very simple. I write stories that happened, and then we figure out together how to share them with the world, because we want more people to experience what we have with the digital coffee shop. And this has been the biggest turning point of everything, because by not boxing myself in and focusing on frameworks and what everyone else is doing, I love creating content, and because I love creating content, I get to work with incredible clients, so I love my business again, right? It all started at me sharing the truth. So here's what all 4 of those moments and statements from that Trey call actually taught me. A big team doesn't mean a big business. It means big responsibilities. And in a business built on your face, you can fix these bottlenecks without throwing people at them. Then we have the money back guarantee. It doesn't mean confidence. It just attracts the wrong clients, and the right clients doesn't need one because they are there for you. Then we have the one offer for one group of people thing about how it's scalable. It's really not. Like, the menu card and offering more people to work with you is a way better solution for both you and them. And then we have content. Content that you're forced to make is content that slowly kills you. The best content that you'll ever create is just sharing and speaking your truth. And the digital coffee shop isn't really a funnel. It's not a framework. It's not a system. It's just a place built around what I actually want my life and business to look like. Because I designed my life first and then the coffee shop. And if the coffee shop resonates with you, you might want to watch this video next. It covers the entire life.